Wow, that is super lag. Okay. Anyway, stream health is excellent. Okay. Share on the tumbles. Okay. So on uh-huh. What do I say? Did I actually type in Livestrong or did it autocorrect to Livestrong? Anyway. Live stream, game, I damn it! No, this is, alright. Game dev post. Hooray, I think. Wow, that's an interesting little animation. Yeah, but still. Sweet! Alright, cool. So this is happening. This is happening. Oh god. Let's not do screenception right now. And we need Sublime Text. Boop, 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 boop. And we need GitHub. Or just Git, I suppose. Git bash. Git bash. And my name, my game's name is called Jungard. And I'll talk through the reason for that and some of the story elements, but first let's open GitHub so I can actually do that. Alright, and what else? I'm missing something else. Ah, yes, Chrome Web Server. Boop. Sweet. I think that is everything, and of course, I suppose the okay. One watching is probably me, but alright, I'm going to get up and you turn and we will get rolling with this. Okie dokie. Let me just put you down here and I'll be back. Okay. Just watching myself come back on the YouTube screen. Alright. Yungard, a troublesome unreality. So the story here is the inhabitants of Yungard have only known a peaceful era. There has been no war. An unconscious desire to coexist has never been challenged. However, many are growing restless. Their tranquil reality is being disrupted by nightmares. It has swept rapidly across the land, starting with the council houses in the north. And by the way, some of this may not coincide with the way that I actually build this map. I'll need to adjust this. Your village at the southwestern tip, also not true, of the continent seems to be the only one affected, or the only one unaffected, but for how long? Many are beginning to panic. They are unable to work, play, or socialize as they used to. Well, you can see I clearly wrote this while I was still in the UK, and it was autocorrecting to, let's see. They'll nod off during the day, but cannot sleep for long due to their violent dreams. Some are even growing irritable and getting into arguments and fights with one another. How will the people of Yungard go on like this? They've always prevailed over hardship, but how can you conquer what is not real? Ooh, fancy. So that's the gist of it. Using Chrome Web Server for easy testing. If you don't have it and you do web development stuff, that's not, I mean, honestly, anything really. I don't know if it supports PHP. I don't think it does. So if you've got some kind of like installed uh, render thingy, then maybe this isn't the best choice for you. But I could be wrong. It's really just a web server. Anyway, and we have Sublime Text where I'm coding and using Git. And of course, it's my Git. And we're testing in this little window here. So let's see where we left off. And let me just check first. Yeah, I am in my dev branch, so we're going to just continue on with that. Index. Prepare to be amazed. So this is my game at the moment. It is obviously lacking any sort of styling. I'm going to get to that. I would like to use Bootstrap, but right now I'm having some issues with classes. So I'll get into the technology after. I don't really know what the etiquette on these streams is. It's like, should I just continue to talk all by myself, or and chat? Yeah, okay. We'll say there's a chat. Boop, boop. Before I get into the technology, I'll just run through the game. So basically, you've got your location, essentially. This is a menu bar, or it will be a menu bar once I style it appropriately and give these different things functions. Right now, they do absolutely nothing. And I've got my footer with my fake copyright information. Maybe I'll get a real copyright if I actually make something of this substantial, but for now it's just bullshit. And the description of the world, so of this particular zone, I should say, and here are your available actions. So, much in the text adventure, and this is a text adventure kind of style. It's obviously just text, no real art. And typically you're able to navigate around by going in certain directions rather than, of course, controlling a character. So, see, I can click on somewhere, and it takes me to that particular location, Forest Edge. You're finding your way around. This zone has some nice trees. And then now you're in a forest. You find yourself in a forest. It's dark and spooky. And you see a man. And this is a man that we have not yet identified, so I'm going to approach him. You see a man. He's wearing a baseball cap and has a wooden leg. He's been identified as Jim. I'm going to introduce myself. Hey, buddy. My name is Jim. Alright, that's swell. I'm going to walk away now. So, now I'm back in the forest. The man is still there. I'm going to momentarily mute. Okay, so this is going to be a little bit shorter of a stream than I anticipated, as my wife is on her way home, and that would imply that I have maybe about 20 minutes, depending on where she is at the moment. So, yeah. Anyway, I'm just going to continue on then, and perhaps we'll do a longer one in the future. Knew I should have started this earlier, but I got stuck playing Elite Dangerous, new game. Really excited, really enjoying it, so it sucked up like 4 hours in this afternoon. Yeah, alright, she'll be like 20 minutes. So let's just press on. I'm going to go east, and now you're in a dark part of the forest. It's darker and spookier, and you see a large spider. So this is going to be more of the demonstration of not so much NPC interaction, but enemy interaction. So a spider is crawling about. I could walk away if I wanted to, and I'd go back to the deep forest, but I'm going to fight it. And I won initiative, otherwise you'd see a little message pop up here, so I'm going to go ahead and attack. I can do that. Spider missed me. I did 5 damage to it. I'm going to defend, which raises my armor a little bit. Spider attacked me and did 3 points of damage. So, it's managed to roll like a nat 20 or something, and we're doing, kind of D&D-ish dice roll stuff. So that's how I'm doing combat. Attack again. And I defeated the spider. I obtained 100 experience points, and I have ascended to level 2. Of course, I'll have more stringent level restrictions in the future, but for now, for the sake of demonstration, your first defeat is going to give you enough experience to level up. And you know, the spider is the only enemy that I even have at the moment, so yeah, that explains that. And now, you know, if I go west, I go back east, you'll see that the spider's not there anymore. And this just kind of demonstrates the way that I'm going about creating this. So I'm going to just do a few things then with the short amount of time that I actually have. This is using React.js, which is sort of a library that is used for basically creating componentized UI and being able to, as the name would imply, react to changes that occur within the UI for one reason or another, and kind of maintain a stateful representation of whatever that is, and you know, be capable of communicating with child components and things like that. I probably am not doing it enough justice, but I'm learning the ropes, so this is the impression I've gotten so far. Why am I doing this? Why am I making a text adventure? Well, because I've tried to make games with art in the past, and I'm just such a darn perfectionist that it is tough to press on and really deliver serious value to the game without hitting the roadblock of, crap, I need to make art, I have to animate this sprite, I have to make music, and so on and so forth. It's helped me up from a couple other games that will eventually be finished, Star Dreams and Tether 2, and maybe that's in another stream where I'll get back to those, but for now, this is going to be a nice, you know, easy thing, and by easy I mean incredibly difficult, but less frustrating in terms of I don't need to go off and focus on art assets. I can code away and be happy, because I am a bit of a programmer, I guess. So, first thing I'm going to do, and this will be a good chance to walk through all this stuff, I'm going to see if I can extract all of this data elsewhere, because it's seriously making this file huge in terms of just the number of lines. And I don't think there will be anything wrong with just including this in another file, but we'll see. We will see. And I'm going to do another thing, but let's do this first. So we'll use this as our data source, and I'm just going to copy and paste everything. Maybe in the future I'll have this kind of server side, I guess, and I'll return it as a big old JSON thing. But for now, you know, it's still a JavaScript object. It's just more JavaScript-ish than JSON-ish, if that makes any sense. And I'll just call this data. So this is where I have all my data. I've got objects, things like the armor and weapons that the player is holding. Actors, so we've got Jim and the spider. Battle actions, which are all those different actions that you saw available. And the map, which is everything, including the, we'll say, death screen. Your eyelids draw shut as you gasp for your last breath of air. Remember that death is not the end, but only a transition, which I totally stole from a Dream Theater song, but oh well. Now, what I'm going to do is save, and index. Actually, other thing I wanted to do, because I've seen other people do this, and I wonder if this is something that, well, you know what, let's do one thing at a time. I don't want to end up in a situation where I just fail completely. Script type, this is really just going to be JavaScript, to be honest. And I guess this one needs to load first. In order for the other one to function, text, JavaScript, and data.js. Alright, now let's see if this works. It'll definitely tell me right away, and let me pull up my JavaScript console just to make sure that I'm not seeing any errors pop up. Okay, cool, I think that actually worked, which is excellent. Yeah, alright, cool. let me make sure that I can battle it, attack, defend, and run away. So now that's thing number one. Thing number two, I wanted to see if I could take out this render call and put that in my index. And I'm going to do a little bang script type equals text slash Babel and copy pasta. And we're going to close that out. Or you can actually close out the thing that you should be closing out. Sweet. Alright, and does this work? This probably doesn't. Game is not defined. Curses. Though actually, I wonder what's in a Wonder Ball. Let's see what happens if I put this down here. Though honestly, if it's in the head, it should load first. Look, it's 4 lines of code, Matt. Just chill out. Stop being such a freak of nature. Main. I'm going to put this back and forget it ever happened. And because I did a thing, and it's relatively significant. Actually, you know what? I want to do one more thing. And this one is another thing that I think is very important to do, just for the sake of purchase. Who purchases anything ever anymore? And for the record, this isn't like pirated or anything. Sublime Text is free, but it does ask you if you'd like to purchase. And let me make sure that I don't have to stop right now. And I'm going to call this helpers. And this is also JavaScript. This is not Babel. And for the record, some of this might look weird to those who are familiar with JavaScript and that sort of thing, but helpers, there's this thing that sort of React uses very heavily in its documentation called JSX, which is I think a part of like a larger library named Babel. That essentially allows you to render HTML in your JavaScript and make it, relatively easy to do stuff. Yeah. Alright, this seems to be working. Let's fight the spider again. Boop. 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 Sweet. Alright. So, I just did a thing. And this might be the only thing that I'm actually able to do, unfortunately. I am very sorry for those who are not actually watching this. Obviously not the most convenient time or day, given it's holiday and people are off doing whatever. And I'm only a blip in the grand space-time continuum, so this isn't like a multi-hour stream like I kind of wanted it to be. But it happens. Now I'm just going to save, git add, or I'm gonna push this essentially. Git commit, add a message of separate files for helper functions and data. That sounds good and understandable. Git push origin dev. And I do have one other enhancement that I'd like to do before I push this to the master branch. But let's, for now, just make sure that this was committed successfully. I am going to have to go, though. Terribly sorry. Let's check out my dev branch, though it It's clearly showing up. Separate files for helper functions and data. Sweet. And that's kind of it. That's what I'm going to do for now. I hope you enjoyed. Question mark. And we'll do this again for a more extended period in the future. Okay. Bye. Thanks for watching. Question mark.